Some memories of old El Paso as I was growing up involve eating at some various restaurants when we would be anywhere close to the airport, and a lot of times my grandparents would travel and come back into town and we'd meet their plane. Then we'd always go to Elmer's, and Elmer's just recently closed. It was out there where airport takes off from Airways, and Elmer's always had great food. They had a combination of American food and great Mexican food. We loved Elmer's, and I remember Elmer's when it was new, but I've eaten there recently right before it closed, and it was such an old place, and very traditional architecture from back in the 1960s. We also ate at a place that was called the Bonanza, and it was where Paisano and Montana meet. And then later on, the Bonanza was torn down and it became Montana Mining at that same place. But the Bonanza was a cafeteria style steakhouse where you walked in and you placed your steak order, and you've got a salad, and you told them if you wanted baked potato or what, and you'd go sit down. And that was where I learned to love salad, because the Bonanza had the best salads. Later on, when it became Montana Mining, we ate at Montana Mining. That was the first one, and then they opened up another one on the west side. Another place that my family liked to eat that is not there anymore was the Iron Tinder. And the Iron Tinder had a very special steak soup, along with all kinds of other steak and seafood dishes. We also went out to Cattleman's, but usually that would be someplace that we would take people from out of town as I was growing up. And Leo's was a big one. We would meet my maternal grandparents almost every Friday night at the Leo's at Shellmont. And when my children were little, they were eating red enchiladas from Leo's before they ate a lot of traditional American food, and they loved red enchiladas. As times have changed, one of the things that I noticed that has changed greatly in El Paso is whether you're eating out or you're eating at home, people are making healthier choices. And they're a lot more cognizant, at least the people I know and my children especially, of what they're eating and what the cholesterol is, what the fat is. They're making sure that they're eating healthy. I see a lot more fresh fruits and vegetables in restaurants and in people's homes. They talk about shopping around the perimeter of the grocery store, and most people I know tend to do that and fix their meals that way rather than the processed foods that are on the interior of the store. And it's very embarrassing to me to mention that as I was feeding my children as they grew up, we ate a lot of hamburger helper. And I just find it very embarrassing at this point, because we maybe ate hamburger helper 5 nights out of the week. And processed foods, processed chemicals, and ground beef, which ground beef is great, but not every night. But it was a quick meal. It was easy for a mom to come home from work and fix hamburger helper and, maybe some canned green beans. And that is not the way people eat today. At least that's not the way my children fix food for their own children. And most of the restaurants now in town are also very sensitive about fresh foods and healthy foods, which is a big change from even the 1980s when I started raising children of my own. One of our favorite local restaurants, and this isn't necessarily talking health food here, is that my husband and I love Lucy's at the King's X. And My cousins all loved Lucy's at King's X. They don't live here now, but when they come back to town, they always want to go there. So we've gotten to the point that when people come in from out of town and maybe they don't know, maybe they're familiar with El Paso or maybe they haven't lived in El Paso, we take them to Lucy's at the King's X, and it's just really funny because it's a bar and cafe, and so it's something of a dive to take out of town company to eat. But everybody exclaims about it. They love the food, very good food. There's great soup that they serve there before every meal. And it's just a fun, different place to go. We also take people to the state line. We will take them to Cattleman's. Um, but here's the thing: when people come into El Paso from out of town, they always want Mexican food, and they want to eat some traditional Mexican food. Some of them want Tex-Mex. Some people over the years have heard about Leo's and Avila's and want to go there or say, I've heard about it. I've heard stories. Please take me. My children, they've got a list of places they like to go when they come in. They want some charcoaler. They want some Avila's. They want some Lucy's. And in fact, they could go to a different Mexican food place every night if they've come into town. And we find a lot of people that is exactly what they want to do.